Okay, welcome everyone. As you can see, the outline has changed.
Hemingway on the top floor. Jessica, you are wonderful. We managed to save the homes of Mark Twain.
So it's case 34 now.
Hemingway and O'Neill. I got short.
A close personal friend of my grandfather. He brought in a lot of business. Believe me, pretty treaty, lady.
Got any non-alcoholic beer?
Hold on, everyone. Okay, now it's open. Death in my hand.
Warren Acres, since when? Since summer. You're as keen as my bride's latest sketches.
My sketches because I'm really blind. These are for the model apartments in Dulwich Town.
Lisa, you ran out of there for 60 years?
While we're still mourning Rupert's loss, Matthew, the sacrifice of his undercover mission wasn't in vain.
Committed to paying for her move to Florida. This injunction they're going for. Miss Johnson wanted me to tell you.
Rupert gained us access to the meteorite under the dome, where you obtained a sample of the element it's made of, beryllium.
Maybe we could at least spare you.
Having analyzed the extraterrestrial compound, we discovered beryllium can impact living organisms. We've seen it enhance and suppress bodily processes, but have no idea what Dreamlife wants to... Senior Trooper Matthew, I know I'm the last person you want to see, but I have some information for you. Marconi, how dare you show your face here after we found you sneaking around under the dome? What do you want? I'm extending an olive branch, Jones. One of my guys at Hawk Security found a body not far from the dome. I thought you'd want to know. I've asked him to report to you down by the lake, Senior Trooper Matthew. An olive branch? Marconi trying to be helpful. But I guess you're right, Matthew. If Marconi's telling the truth about a body, we better investigate that lake.
A few moments ago, as the hearings adjourned for the day with no decision. I have two members of the City Preservation Committee. What is your reaction to the split fluids rule, Ms. Johnson?
Well, the fact that Walter George publicly broke ranks with his brother and agreed to consider alternate sites means that even the enemy.
Clearly a misunderstanding. Particularly Mr. George, because that sounds like an oxymoron. Walter did it. I know there was nothing more. This is going to last as long as I do. Yes, but some cynics are saying that due to all this publicity, the 65 is turned into a cash cow, and you into an overnight devotee of cultural history.
Hey, Mike.
So unfortunately,
65 was my father.
I couldn't play it on. I could no longer play this on Google Chrome. I'm gonna have to do it via Firefox.
And the best sliced steak sandwich in town.
Thanks very much, Mr. Walsh. This is Mike LaRocca, Channel 6 News at City Hall.
It's nice to finally meet you in person.
Okay.
Walter. Carsway.
There's the corpse.
Care for the filthy detergent. The new concentrated formula gives you 30% more. No stretching, shrinking, or fading. Cool-Eye cares as much as you.
Why do I feel like we know him?
What's better than living from life? How about those checks we keep on coming to your family even decades after you're gone? It's the Power Check plus $2,500 a week forever prize. Win and you get $2,500 a week for your life. Then after that, someone you choose gets $2,500 a week for their life. Wouldn't it be great to leave a legacy for your family? Go to PCH.com. October 26th, you can win $2,500 a week forever.
Okay, got the first star.
Yes. It's a targeted medicine proven to help prevent severe asthma attacks and lower oral steroid use.
About 50% of people with severe asthma have too many cells called eosinophils in their lungs. Fasenra is designed to work with the body to target and remove eosinophils.
Fasenra is an add-on injection for people 12 and up with severe eosinophilic asthma. Don't use Fasenra for sudden breathing problems.
That man's dead all right, Matthew. And look, his head's been bashed in. He was murdered. You're right. This is Dr. Ernesto Vega, one of Dreamlife scientists working under the dome. The last time we saw Dr. Vega was during our first dome investigation. What was he doing outside the dome? Sharp eyes, Matthew. Those are Dr. Vega's glasses. They must have been broken during the murder. Let's repair them and see if they provide a clue. But I don't see Marconi's security guard. Where? Ah, the cops. The boss said you'd be taking care of that body. I saw you guys arrive, but you seem to be getting on fine. So I figured, is talking to the police really necessary? I'm afraid so, Mr. The name's Keith Vaughn. Well, Mr. Vaughn, Senior Trooper Matthew will take your statement about this murder. So I'm going to start the autopsy now, and I'm going to get some stars, so sit tight. Okay, now let's take Mr. Vaughn's statement. How's the statement thing work, Senior Trooper Matthew? I gotta fill out some sort of form? I don't like paperwork. Leave the paperwork to us, Mr. Vaughn. We just want to know what happened. I was on patrol in the forest when I found the body. He was already dead, I swear. I realized immediately that it was Dr. Vega, and that's when I called Mr. Marconi. Did you know Dr. Vega well? I mean, we Hawkeye fellas aren't allowed under the dome, and Dreamlife won't let us talk to those science guys. But Dr. Vega was one of the few employees authorized to leave the dome for research purposes. Whenever he worked outside, Vega would exit through the dome security checkpoint. If the victim passed through that security checkpoint, Matthew, we should examine it.
This is all. That's it. Have a good one.
This place gets to turn a landmark, and I said, what if it's going down like we open on the east side? Too bad. There's $10. We're gonna need some help on our here.
Alright, this is my proposition. You close down the bar for 1 month while we dig up the basement and find the bones of Dutch Sophie Fitness for the Kiki Thomas. I can do a fast beat, hope to be there, have a lot to discuss. And I call.
Mrs. Rhodes, my name is Jessica Fletcher. We have names, but no social security check. Unless you would put Mrs. Fletcher.
Enter Hallmark Channel's Holiday Home Decoration Sweepstakes now through September 21st at HallmarkChannel.com. It's a once-in-a-lifetime chance to have home transformed into the ultimate Christmas wonderland.
There's a clue.
Awesome hill. And watch Hallmark Channel's Countdown to Christmas starting October 26th, only on Hallmark Channel.
Lives that go wild for sticks are the measure of a dog's big life.
Oh, dog is a
life
clue?
you love most with Nature's Recipe. Big life.
If you've been scared going to the dentist, just think how your wallet feels. Because if you don't
Got
have
the
dental
first star.
insurance, paying the bill can be really expensive. Just a simple cleaning can cost over $150. And things like root canals can cost hundreds, even thousands more. But now you can get dental insurance for about $1 a day from Physicians Mutual and 50 procedures. Everything everything from cleanings and fillings to crowns and dentures. Your acceptance is guaranteed for one of these insurance policies, even if you're retired or on Medicare. There are no deductibles and there's no annual maximum. Plus, you can see any dentist, so help protect
If the
your
victim
teeth.
came to this checkpoint before he was murdered, where should we start looking? That dumpster's as good a place as any. I'll give you a boost, Matthew.
Every woman wants beautiful brows, so we breathe.
Hello there, fella. Where'd you come from? Your tag says your name is Leonard. This dome's no place for a dog to be wandering around, Matthew. Let's run the other side of that tag to the database to find Leonard's owner.
Flawless Krau's precision hair removal tip is the finest German engineered technology that erases unwanted hair with micro precision, perfectly balanced for perfect control. It's the savory way that has beautiful brows every day, guaranteed. One of my favorite things is I don't have to wait for hair to grow out.
Okay, finally it made it. Okay.
Across the street. See the parking signs? In 3 minutes, we're all illegally parked here. So I gotta move across the street where it's okay to park up just wait. We gotta be crazy to keep a car here. And I am shifting from one side to the other every couple of days. Using the chair. Literally. So, meanwhile,
Jay Savage.
keep it in the clothes.
Yep.
This thing, please. Thank you very much. Hurry with the car. Marty, I'm grateful you're going out on a limb for me. I hope it works.
Out on a limb, let me put it this way. If you're wrong, school crossing guard's gonna look like a promotion.
Tell me another 9. Alright, Leonard, your owner is someone named Jay Savage. Jay Savage? As in James Savage? That hunter you met during your first stint in Grimsboro, Matthew? As I recall, James Savage lives in this forest, meaning he might have witnessed the murder.
Okay, a couple of details.
Matthew, let's return Leonard to Mr. Savage.
After 65 last Tuesday night between 6 o'clock and 9:30. We've done this. The time is on our bar check. Lieutenant, you've got your killer. What is this about?
Well, it's about a parking space, Mr. Gilrich. The evening has been mentioned that you're taking a cab home with the
Okay.
inconsistencies here.
And everybody else.
Until Nurse Miles explained the parking pattern to me. Mrs. Gilrich, if you throw
Okay. So we're going to talk to James Savage.
The login sheet for the impact lab was cleared after being ticketed at 9:02 instead of 65 West 64th. No parking after 9 p.m. that side of the street.
everyone on the 65 heard the bartender warn that illegally parked cars were no one saw you leave.
Thank goodness, Leonard. I looked everywhere for you. Where'd you find him, Senior Trooper Matthew? Outside of the dome security checkpoint. Not a safe place for dogs. Nonsense. Leonard's a tough one, and that dome's completely harmless. Actually, Mr. Savage, we're here investigating the murder of a dreamlife scientist, a Dr. Ernesto Vega. Another murder? I see nothing's changed after 5 years, Senior Trooper Matthew. And before you ask, I don't know anything about it. Those dreamlight people pretty much keep to themselves. That dome was annoying at first, but now I'm grateful. It's protecting my forest from the radiation. Well, you certainly mellowed out over the years, Mr. Savage. We'll be in touch if we have more questions.
That's the proof that you fired it. Along with everything else, I doubt we'll have any trouble getting a murder one indicted.
Of course, that's the third. If this thing will just hurry up.
Before Margaret and Walter.
Okay.
I didn't realize they had met downstairs for a drink first.
This say I was good at the dumpster, but I'm gonna get the glasses first.
I slipped into Eugene's office. And Margaret asked me to take her to the rest of the night. I stayed outside until she left. It came up as my turn to talk shop with Walter. God's sake, Walter, what's your job? Getting a lady dollar? Listen, damn you. You keep
He's put everything he's got on the line for this project. Everything. And you're willing to buy a stupid woman's story about it? No, I'm not. Eugene felt obligation to probably wrong. There'd never be anything but dead weight dragging him down.
There we go.
I'll leave it up to Eugene. Either he dumps you, or I take a hike. It's you or me.
That's the first good idea you've had. Let Eugene choose between you.
Let's have Amir examine the victim's glasses, Matthew. Perhaps they'll bring this case into focus.
Turn around, Walter, I'll kill you.
Respect you, you'll come into your husband.
Got him.
Dr. Eugene's chair.
Take a taxi home, dear.
Oh, God, Eugene.
It's my mistake.
So I'm going to go ahead and start that up. This is 3 hours. Now I'm going to get the dumpster. Come on now, come on now. Camera.
Your time is valuable.
Nippon camera.
With the degree you started in 12 months for
Get
$10,000.
here.
So you can live and learn. Try FlexPath today.
Let's go, 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 go.
But don't always leave your skin completely clean.
You found a digital camera in that dumpster, Matthew? Oh, it's a Nippon X3000. Zoe has one of these. Strange that someone would throw this away. Let's crack the camera's password and see who it belongs to.
A more complete clean than the #1 makeup daily facials. Brain Power, helping you buy better.
Do you suffer aches and pains from circulation booster? Aching legs from poor circulation may be caused from age, medical condition, or just being inactive. Only re-stimulation gets your leg muscle covered. Stimulation relieves aches and pains and strengthens.
Granddaughter asked me to dance with her. Well, I can't turn down my granddaughter right with her, and I would never have been able to do that without Roberta.
Okay.
Makes a big difference. Quality of life. It's nice to have that filling back and have the control back.
Come on, come on, come on.
Just place your feet on the foot pads and increase the intensity using the remote control. Soon you'll be enjoying ease as Revital takes your aches and pains away. Use
85858.
Medic Circulation Booster or do more with Revital. And now you can try Revital in your home for only $1 when you use this special coupon code. Order right now and we'll ship it to you for free return shipping and our 60-day money-back guarantee. This exclusive 100% risk-free offer is only available for a limited time. So call me.
There we go.
Call 1-800-960-8300medic.com. That's 1-800-960-8300.
Man, this thing is slow.
Call now. Go ahead and try it out.
Would you like for your loved ones to never have to worry about money for the rest of their lives? It's the and you get $2,500 a week for your life. $1,500 a week for their life.
All right, Matthew. Let's see these photos. Here's a shot of the security checkpoint. A few snaps before us, and
you can win $2,500 a week.
What the heck? That's a photo of me. And here's one of Astrid. Zoe took these pictures. How could Zoe's camera end up in a dreamlike dumpster, Matthew? You think she was out here? That's ridiculous. I agree, it's weird, but there must be a logical explanation. Let's go to my place and talk to Zoe.
The disputed brownstones are here to stay. To my father and my grandfather.
Don't forget Dutch Schultz, yeah, and grandson Josh. We decided against going for one-year-olds in Central Park.
Great. Isn't it wonderful that the city has such a program?
Not the city. Doris Poseidon.
David, what are you doing here? Aren't you on duty? We're hoping you could clear something up, Zoe. We're investigating a murder and...
Stay for
is now
I keep having visions of walking through the forest, but I've never been there before. So I decided to go out there and look at the dome myself, see if I remembered anything. And did you? No, nothing at all. I took a few pictures, but I felt more foolish than anything else, so I left. You really should have told me about this, Zoe, and you shouldn't be going anywhere near that dome. I know. I promise I'll stay away from now on.
About your Jewish heritage. For instance, you can find out the symbols of Judaism. You can find out the Jewish calendar. You know, there are so many things to tell you about the Jewish study Bible that we don't have time to tell you. But if you order this Bible
So that's where I dropped my camera. Someone must have found it and thrown it away. So you were near the dome? What on earth were you doing?
The essence of Judaism. Maps of the Holy Land.
That's about where I came back in on this. And I will see you guys when both of these are done.
Bible today for $119.99.
I don't have enough time for the other case I'm doing in elite mode, so I'm going to see you guys later. Okay, we return. Let's get the results of the autopsy right now. As you've already established, Matthew, the victim died of a severe head trauma. The killer repeatedly struck Dr. Vega with a heavy object. I found small fragments of stone embedded in the wound, so be on the lookout for a large rock. Duly noted. What else can you tell us about the crime? I noticed some string stuck to the body, which I assumed was a loose thread from the victim's coat. However, the thread turned out to be dental floss. Considering the poor state of the victim's teeth, it's obvious he never touched dental floss, which means the killer did. Never look a gift clue in the mouth, Matthew. Our killer uses dental floss.
is tested, including handrails, shopping kiosks, check-in counters, play areas, and of course, in the air. But the most germ-filled spot in an airport is the security filled with belongings are rapidly recycled through the line, meaning they're touched by hundreds of passengers a day. So it's not just your phone, passport, wallet, and laptop these bins are carrying that would make you sick. The researchers suggested airports clean the bins more often and install sanitization stations before and after the security checkpoints. I'm Andy Rose reporting.
So it looks like I'm probably going to have to move to another computer and get this done, since this thing is incredibly slow. I'm doing this.
Pretentious can generate sparks that could start a fire. The company said it's aware of 17 cases where it happened in the U.S. and another 6 in Canada that no one has heard. Model years include recall, super food tabs.
I've been sorting through Rupert's belongings, Matthew. Jasper says it'll help find closure. We all miss him, Amir, but Rupert wouldn't want us moping around. There's work to be done, he'd say. Like the victim's eyeglasses. They've certainly kept me busy. You see, I detected no traces of fingerprints or any viable DNA samples. But then I noticed these markings, which I determined are from a boot print, or more specifically, a hiking boot print. I believe the victim's glasses fell off during the struggle and were broken as the killer fled the scene, stepping on them with their hiking boots. Great clue, Matthew. The killer's hiking boots were made for walking straight to jail. I hate to admit it, Matthew, but Marconi gave us a good lead, alerting us to the murder of Dream Life Sciences' Dr. Vega. Hawkeye security guard Keith Vaughn found the body while patrolling outside the dome. James Savage claims to know nothing about the murder, convinced the dome's protecting the forest. And then there's Zoe. I can't believe she went to the dome to take photographs alone. What was she thinking? I know she's desperate to regain her memories, but... Sorry to interrupt, Senior Trooper Matthew, but you must come quickly. What's the emergency, Officer Lucas? I was guarding the crime scene by the lake and I found a tunnel into the dome.
This will be my 8th annual New Year's comedy extravaganza. This year with special guests Natasha Leggero and Wendy Liebman. As always, surprises, singing, and fireworks. Well, verbal fireworks. December 30th at the Maui Arts and Cultural Center and December 31st.
And I'll see you guys for Chapter 2 of Death in My Hand. So we'll catch you soon. Okay, we have returned.
Does this map show?
And let's start Chapter 2.
You won't find that on the map.
I'm going to pause that to
I'll take it.
avoid any copyright from the SVU theme song.
Take this left.
Matthew, the mortality rate among Dream Life employees is pretty high lately, now that we found one of their scientists murdered. Dr. Vega was bludgeoned to death by the lake, not far from the dome security checkpoint. Vega was one of the few employees authorized to leave the dome, and nobody but him came out. Yeah, this is where we left off, huh? Sorry to interrupt, Senior Trooper Matthew, but you must come quickly. I was guarding the murder scene, and I found a tunnel into the dome. What kind of tunnel, Officer Lucas? A drainage pipe of some sort. The bars are broken, so I took a closer look. The tunnel apparently leads right into the dome, and it's been used recently. An access point into the dome near our crime scene warrants an investigation, Matthew. Let's go.
Keep those shrimp coming. Endless Shrimp is back at Red Lobster with all the shrimp you want, any way you want them. Try delicious creations like new crunchy Fiesta shrimp, tortilla chip crusted, then topped with grilled and drizzled with savory soy ginger sauce, and sprinkled with favorites you love, like garlic cream scampi. But Endless Shrimp won't last endlessly, so hurry in.
Okay.
Booking a flight at the last minute doesn't have to be expensive. Just go to Priceline. It's the best place to book a flight. You can go on my trip and still save about 40%. Just travel and go. For the best savings on flights, go to Priceline.
Across the street,
Okay.
or right next to you. And every 3 minutes, a match is made. You can use and more.
There we go.
We have helped millions of families find a care they need.
Probably going to have to do these cases at my house now.
Join now.
But the problem is you're probably not even going to see my face anymore after this case. Okay.
Or get pumped up for your grand entrance. T-Mobile lets you watch your favorite movies and shows in more places without paying more. Get an unlimited family plan with Netflix on us. And right now at T-Mobile, buy one Samsung Galaxy S9 and get one free.
That's the beauty of it. You never know how the season's going to end. But the beginning, oh, that's going to be wild. NFL kickoff, Falcons, Eagles.
Oh, that's a clue? Cigarettes? Okay. There we go.
They don't remember having sex. No. But when I woke up this morning, my pants were down, and I was sore, and I just ran out of there.
So Sarah, your rape kit did turn up semen and a little bit of bruising.
I knew it. Or something.
Well, they're doing
Someone's definitely illicitly used this tunnel to get out of the dome, Matthew. And I bet Dream Life has no idea.
I don't know.
It's possible the killer snuck out to settle a score with Dr. Vega without being flagged at the main gate. This certainly complicates matters. That fresh pack of cigarettes means someone was here recently, Matthew. Let's dust it for fingerprints. Searching through that crate of equipment can't hurt either. With any luck, we'll find another lead.
Did he look like? Or you said he was young. How young was he?
Around my age, maybe. He smiled a lot. He's bound to bone actually from his food. Avalon stock is easy. Wall Street says that he gets insane on way past his time.
But he still has the energy to climb him up.
Okay, now I got 3 stars from the current crime scene. Now I'm up to 21.
Switch to DirecTV to every podcast. Wait, remember one of the top satisfaction?
Okay, let's see.
That's all. What is DirecTV?
More and more people are finding themselves in a Chevy for the first time. You can too during the Chevy Liberty Sales Event. Now, for September 10th, use overnight cash to get
Bloody rock.
$1,000 below MSRP on Ford's 2018 Equinox L2 and finance with GM Financial. This Labor Day, discover why Chevy is the most awarded and fastest growing brand the last 4 years.
That crate contained more than rusty equipment, Matthew. That rock's splattered with blood. This rock's exactly what Martine told us to look for. This could be the murder weapon. Let's have her examine it to be sure.
Here we are. Home sweet home. The house where magic lives.
Please teach me, please, please.
Okay, have it your way.
Lucky Strike.
Even this year was the Rainbow Roaster.
For knowing my life.
12 hours?
Which is very relatives of Penn.
Too, but you know, grandfather-in-law is the king of Babylon, but has a reputation for being a serial flyer, and Eric's father, Larry Jr., who shut down this.
Okay.
I thought you were the bar, and they brought you the fire and you shouldn't. That's something disgusting.
No control. Poor resident.
Oh, he's not the best influence on teenage boy. Sounds like you have a big family, you old man. You should be a detective when you go. I'll start practicing right now. What time did you read the first part?
I saw the cake. I had my picture taken and I left.
Here we go.
It was on my 9:30. Why?
Breakfast. I just have a warrant for a second. You do it?
For me? I was listening to kids myself.
Still investigating. Ready?
Good news, Matthew. There are fingerprints all over these cigarettes. Let's run the prints to the database to find out who was in this tunnel.
I'm not into that.
Okay, fine, open up.
Oh, see. I had sex with
You did. You didn't mention that before.
her. I said, my sex life is no one else's business. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay. Let's examine the fingerprints right now.
We did have sex. And I wanted to.
I briefly saw it.
Okay, are you sure? Sorry. How much trouble did I get in? No. That's very good of you remembering. I do. You know, but the other man, I still don't remember that. And there's no way that that was consensual. Do you know this?
Ah, missed out on the night. That's okay though. Doris Black.
That has to be a mistake.
Those fingerprints match a certain Doris Black, who works in the Dome's food court. Looks like we're going back inside the Dome, Matthew. Let's ask Miss Black what she was doing in that tunnel.
Do you remember having a drink with him? Yeah. No. It may have been planted.
Oh, he's own grandfather.
But is there a way you can help us?
Okay, let's see.
Come along.
I didn't know the police were working under the Dome today. Is something wrong? We're actually here to see you, Miss Black. We know you've been sneaking around in that tunnel that leads outside the Dome. Tunnel? I don't know what you're talking about. We know you were out there. Senior Trooper Matthew found your cigarettes. Okay, fine, but don't tell Rosetta. She'd have my head if she knew I'd been sneaking out. It's a major security breach.
There's nothing.
So we were right, Matthew. Dreamlight doesn't know about this secret exit. How did you find out about it? One day, the door to that drainage tunnel was open, and I could see sunlight filtering through. So I went in and saw the broken bars. It's hard being shut in under this dome. I sneak out to the forest whenever I need a little escape. It's interesting your little escape leads to a crime scene. Dr. Vega was murdered by the lake. What? Dr. Vega was murdered? That's terrible. He seemed like a nice guy. He'd order one of my fajita specials every day. I don't know why anyone would kill Dr. Vega, but I assure you it wasn't me. That'll do. Okay, we've returned. Let's get the results for Bloody Rock right now.
Did you ever see them together, Mr. Parker?
You're just in time for my report on that blood-stained rock, Matthew. This stone is indeed the murder weapon. The blood type matches the victim. I wonder how the murder weapon ended up in that tunnel. Did the killer drop it there on their way back into the dome? Or is the killer someone from outside, who used the place to hide evidence? I don't know that, but I can give you another solid lead on the murderer. I found 2 marks on the rock, where the killer would have gripped it. They're traces of dimethyl-phthalate, carbate, and lemon oil, or in layman's terms, bug spray. Apparently, the killer came to the forest prepared. They were wearing insect repellent. That's a fly in the killer's ointment, Matthew. Their insect repellent's given them away. We're building a solid profile of our killer, but this investigation's far from over. Let's get back to the dome security checkpoint.
Just what the defense wanted. The gun found at the Kent Foundation was used to shoot John Byrne.
You ever talk to Belinda Gardner?
Believe me, I tried. The trash can where the gun was found was in an area open to the public. We got a lot of foot traffic.
So Belinda Gardner could have planted the gun.
If only I could prove it. None of the staff remember seeing it.
I'm sure the gun's untraceable.
The serial number was filed off and bought on the street.
Okay, this likely will be the last time I'll be doing a criminal case on this computer.
Now the murder weapon turns up at her workplace.
In fact, I'm sure you will go on better.
It'd be hard for it not to. How about a continuance to buy yourself time to prove that Belinda Gardner planted the gun?
They don't grant continuances just because you're getting your butt kicked. Next time, both of you face the music.
Mr. Foreperson, has the jury reached a verdict?
Yes, we have, Jim. We find the defendant.
We find the defendant not guilty on all counts.
It's going to be a tough case from the start, Jack.
Don't count me out now. I still got one more at bat.
And the verdict is barely dry, and here you are gloating.
See it sentencing.
Belinda Gardner, on the other hand, is celebrating 4 seasons. We're not continuing any relationship with Mrs. Gardner.
Too bad. I was hoping to get a question answered. Specifically, how'd they choose Belinda Gardner's gun as the one planted?
There's the first clue.
And they could just as easily have planted Adele's. How'd that work, Miss Byrne? Belinda Gardner gets the patsy. While the working girl gets 25 to life.
There's the second clue.
Does that seem fair to you? I suppose. You can always take your chances on appeal.
And there's clue number 3, the book.
What do you want to know, Mr. McGuire?
Your Honor, this is outrageous. Double jeopardy protects my client from further prosecution.
Jeopardy only attached us to John Byrne's murder. We're indicting Mrs. Gardner for the murder of her husband.
Which is even more ridiculous considering Belinda Gardner didn't murder her husband. A jury
Am I gonna have a lucky find here?
Byrne did.
Mrs. Gardner didn't
Yeah, looks like I will.
the trigger. In fact, we're going to up the ante. We're charging her with murder 1st degree.
Well, this should be good. In fact, it better be.
100,000
First
extra.
degree murder includes murder for hire. It applies to both the shooter and the contracting party,
Where the murder is for, and I quote, pecuniary gain, which means money. Or did the laws change while I was asleep?
People that I quote, the benefit of pecuniary
Looks like I'll get up to
value
4th.
is not-
Is that what you think?
No, I've prosecuted enough hitmen. I know for certain.
And there's no requirement like killings in exchange for drugs, for example.
I have to agree. Motion granted. They've got you, Mr. Solomon. When Adele Byrne comes up for sentencing, we're recommending 20 to life. It's good for the goose.
Sure beats life.
Nicely spotted, Matthew. That book belongs to the victim. That's weird. Why would a genius like Dr. Vega be reading astronomy for schmucks? Oh, that's because this isn't a book at all. There's a bottle of gin hidden inside a secret compartment. And look at this message. This is getting too risky. What's that mean? A sample of that white stain could explain it, Matthew. Unlocking that voice recorder is also a good idea, as well as piecing together those scraps of metal. Let's get to it, Matthew. Okay, we got some stars. I'm up to 23. Currently enjoying some macaroni too. Wow. Stay out of my forest. Wow. That's a pretty emphatic threat. Excuse me, if you ask me. That metal is a keep out sign, Matthew, and it has the victim's face drawn on it. There's something painted here too. Stay out of my forest. My forest? That sounds like something James Savage would say. But Savage said the Dreamlife scientists keep to themselves. What would he have against Dr. Vega? Only one way to find out, Matthew. Let's ask James Savage.
Feel the clarity and live clarity.
Seamlessly blend roots in 10 minutes. Or try our new temporary color touch-up behind in 10 seconds.
It would help us to know more about what the subject did.
Can you explain this keep out sign Senior Trooper Matthew found, Mr. Savage? You were obviously mad at the victim. Because Dr. Vega was making my life a nightmare. He'd come to the lake every day running tests on the water. Whenever I drank it afterwards, I had to floss for hours. I don't know what that dome's protecting us from, but if Dreamlife isn't destroying the environment, I'll eat my hiking boots. The forest ecology is a disaster. The animals are scared, and there are so many insects now, I have to use bug spray. This forest might be a testing ground for them, but it's my home. Scientists like Vega must be stopped. Apparently you're not so mellow after all, Mr. Savage. Let's hope you didn't take extreme measures to stop Dr. Vega yourself.
Since the war, any Iraqi would Iraq and his neighbor were arrested together. Lucky for Kamal, his neighbor had a relative who works for Safwan Oil, big U.S. company in Iraq. What's this neighbor's name?
Okay, watch voice recorder. One. Three, 5, 2, 3, 5.
It sounds bad to me. No. Only one know my feelings, and that's
My brother invades our country and you don't give us safety. You protect our oil fields, but you are dying on the street.
Ooh. 5, 2, 3, 6, 6. Okay. There we go. Got 8.
Did you see this woman in here Tuesday morning?
Yes, she was here. I saw that at Bike Big Block.
We've got a serious situation here, Mrs. Harrington. We have videotape of you entering and exiting the building where Corpus Thomas was. Pig's blood on the day of the murder.
Alright, Matthew, let's see who this voice recorder belongs to. Dictation notes for LaRue's Limelight, Episode 7. An exclusive CCN report about the mystery surrounding Grimsboro Forest. LaRue's Limelight? This recorder must belong to that CCN journalist, Louis LaRue, and apparently he's snooping around here. I agree, Matthew. Let's ask Mr. LaRue if he's noticed anything relevant to our investigation.
I was born on April 14th, 1975, and I demand to be treated as a prisoner of war.
Okay, let's ask Louis LaRue right now.
When you carry, if your drive home is rough on pizza, submit it to havenforpizza.com and we might fix it. The Brazil stank.
Sorry, Senior Trooper Matthew, I'm just flossing before my broadcast. You should be more careful with your equipment, Mr. LaRue. We found this recorder by the Dome security checkpoint. Were you trying to get in? What I wouldn't give to get under that dome. I was curious when you raised doubts about whether or not there really is a satellite in there. If Dreamlife's hiding something, it's a major story, and I intend on discovering the truth. I've been investigating for weeks. Why else would I be out in that forest? You think I enjoy wearing mosquito repellent? While you're digging around for stories, we're investigating the murder of a Dreamlife scientist, Dr. Vega. What? There's been another murder? Thanks for the scoop, Senior Trooper Matthew. I'll include that in my broadcast, and I'll be glad to interview you later if you agree.
Just place your mask in, close the lid, and walk away. Voila! Sanitized and ready to use. 2430. Or visit soapclean.com today.
The best part about being back to your stuff.
Okay, now the open book.
The lace you need bathtub is high quality, more beautiful than I could have imagined. I can't station today. Or visit bathfitter.com. Sorry about the open house today.
I gotta check my credit card first.
Everybody knows the phone line's not straight. Just listen to what Luke can say. Downstairs, it's a great full body workout.
You're really hurting those calories. Press the button, 14 minutes, and you're done. It used to take me a full hour to get the workout I'm getting in 14 minutes on Max Training. I lost 15 pounds in 10 weeks. It's unbelievable.
I lost 32 pounds and I feel great. The Max Training console lets you know exactly what you need. So start pushing as hard as you can.
Max Animal Training is the big difference. It's a short burst and then recover.
There it is.
I lost 8 pounds in 10 weeks. It's a 5-year age.
You can pull, you can push, you can self-it and jump. I lost 30 pounds in 10 weeks. I'm looking for the best shape of my life.
Go to ordermaxtrainer.com to learn about 18-month special financing and how you can save $425 with our major day sale. It's all at ordermaxtrainer.com.
Back on the floor with a Chevy
People had stated yes, Nadira had charged murder the second degree. Ownership is not known. I'm not sure, Judge.
What do you mean you're not sure?
Also tell me that she's a prisoner of war.
What war is she talking about?
She's Iraqi, Judge.
I'm a mujahideen, a soldier of Islam.
I'll take that as a thank you.
The victim in this case was an Army Reservist. We're charging this as a hate crime, Your Honor. I didn't realize Army Reserve incident had religious motivations. If she sincerely believes she's a soldier of God, she might kill again.
Regarding the defendant,
7 energy.
I'm ordering a 7:30 exam to cover my back.
She came back fit on the 7:30. We can put her in the building with pig's blood and a white shirt.
Alright, Matthew, let's rush this sample from the victim's book to the lab. Hopefully it'll explain the hidden jinn in that message.
Do you want captured American soldiers being tried in Islamic civilian courts, Jack?
I don't do politics.
And even though Firefox is working on this, but of course this is incredibly slow.
This was her country. Thanks for the heads up. Clerk's office, Nadira Harrington's got good counsel.
Yeah, Mr. Smart, the one that did it. Office built. Assuming everything you think you can do this to, that situation is covered by the
So I believe this is going to be another 12 hours.
A one-way ticket.
Oh no, this is 9 hours, okay.
Either the victim, motive, or sold to him.
Oh, hi! We're back. Let's get the results of White Substance right now. Almost done with my dinner, too. This sample you collected off that fake book was pretty straightforward, Matthew. Nothing that would scar me for life. I assume that has a double meaning, Amir. It does. The sample is an ointment containing menthol and eucalyptus oil, a cream used to treat scar tissue. Scar tissue? That's right, Matthew. Keith Vaughn has a prominent scar. So Vaughn was the one who wrote that message in Vega's fake book? Matthew, I'd say we talk to Mr. Vaughn and find out what was getting too risky.
And then we're going to tie you into bed, Rose. You're my friend, but then when you sleep, whatever. I can trust you. I know I can. We're from Minnesota.
Okay, let's see what Mr. Vaughn has to say now. He's got a scar right across his eye. Mr. Vaughn, what's the meaning of this book we found with a bottle of gin hidden inside? And what does this message mean? That's just a little side business. You see, alcohol is strictly forbidden under the dome. That Rosetta broad thinks it poisons the mind. Vega would get desperate for a drink, even though he was allowed to leave the dome. He couldn't go into town and buy booze, so I helped him out. A profitable racket, I'm sure. So why was it getting risky? Because Vega got reckless. He wanted to bring in more booze for other people. He said there was big bucks in it, but I knew he'd get caught. Everything I do is monitored, from the hours I work to my regulation hiking boots. If Marconi found out what I was doing, there'd be hell to pay. You don't cross him and get away with it. Well, Mr. Vaughn, if you did more than threaten Dr. Vega, crossing Marconi will be the least of your worries.
Nature's recipe notes, flags that dip, and flags that tap. Approved by purposeful lessons, by quality person. Life. Takes the life.
Solving Dr. Vega's murder is proving to be complicated, Matthew. The murder occurred outside the dome, and the victim was the only Dream Life employee who came to the main gate. So we assumed the killer might be someone from the outside. But then we discovered a covert entrance into the dome that Dream Life's unaware of, leading straight to the crime scene. We know the killer used this tunnel to dump evidence, but did they also use it to move between the crime scene and the dome? Doris Black, who works in the Dream Life food court, admits to using the tunnel, but the only beef she had with the victim was in her fajitas. James Savage was fed up with Dream Life making a mess of the forest, while Keith Braun was worried his alcohol smuggling might get exposed. And Louis LaRue is here chasing an exclusive story. I realize he's close friends with Zoe, but I don't appreciate him snooping around our investigation. Either way, let's... Wait, what's that noise, Matthew? I think it's coming from over there.
Work have the confidence to browse less and brush more, and a helping hand that empowers you to take your project into your hands. At the Home Depot, get out 100% satisfaction.
Senior Trooper Matthew, thank God, you have to help Zoe. Oh my God, what happened to her? She's collapsed. Oh no.
Have the best paint for any budget starting at $18.97. The Home Depot. More safe, more doing.
So we're gonna have to find out what's up with Zoe after this. Don't go anywhere. Okay, we return to start chapter 3 of Death in My Hand. We last left off on Zoe being not in the best of conditions. Okay, let's Senior Trooper Matthew, thank God it's Zoe. She collapsed. My God! Zoe, what were you even doing here? Well, you know we're friends, so Zoe phoned me, distraught, asking if I'd walk through the forest with her to help jog her memory. But she fainted. We've got to do something, Matthew. Quick, get it done. Wait, Senior Trooper Matthew, Zoe's coming around.
Maybe we're not as sophisticated as Miami. Maybe we don't have French boutiques and valet parking and facelifts for Christmas vacations. But we have
What's happening? Where am I? Take it easy, honey. You fainted. Thank goodness you're awake. You scared me to death, Zoe. I fainted? I don't know what came over me. It must be all the stress. I was out here with Louis when suddenly I felt lightheaded. I sat down for a minute and the next thing I know, you're here. Don't exert yourself, darling. Matthew, I'll take Zoe home so she can rest. And I'll get out of your hair. You feel better, Zoe? If you could do another sweep of the crime scene while I'm gone, Matthew, I'll meet you there after Zoe is settled.
Let's back this thing up and take a look. Go on a paincation with International Pancakes at IHOP, starting at $4.99.
So thanks to Sigma, we can do more than just rock and roll. We have this stuff
Together with Sigma,
to go, take control of your home.
Stick together, your full family trip. They're hot and cold, big and bold, but you would never know the different deal.
We're real fast with me from the camel for legally agree.
Excuse me. You can say that we don't like getting out. It's an attitude. If something breaks, we don't start wondering.
Okay.
So when I reach out to delete, I like to optimize her. I can read the reviews, check their credentials, and stream movies. Advantage comes up with My Mom's Home. If I'm not available,
With Zillow, you can draw your own search. It's easy, and yeah, it's kind of fun too.
There's another one. Nice. Took me no time at all.
Drinks? Champagne. The best you have. Dorothy, that's so expensive. Shut up, Rose. This is my tree. It is a celebration. What are we celebrating?
My daughter found out she has a debilitating disease.
Ah, and it has a name. I am thrilled.
We all are.
Well, of course. Congratulations. Be sick.
That was scary, Matthew. Thank goodness I got Zoe home. She's resting now. Meanwhile, you found more clues. That bag has the victim's initials on it. So let's search through his belongings. That phone could also belong to Dr. Vega. We can crack the password to be sure. Dr. Vega's picture is on that paper, but it's covered with red powder. Let's clean that off. Zoe's not the only one feeling the pressure, Matthew, but we can't lose focus now. We're so close to catching our killer.
Oh my God. Oh, what? It's just a thought. It's him. Cool. I can't believe it. I saw him first 2 days ago.
Didn't even save. Didn't even let me share the. Well, never mind then.
Sorry, I really don't remember. Maybe you don't get one.
Okay, I got 21 stars. Let's just take a look at everything right now. Ah, missed out on the 9.
Justin, thank you.
And it is Ernesto Vega's phone.
Doesn't show us what places will get hit and how bad. What's the code look like?
That's Dr. Vega's phone, all right. Let's have Kathy sift through his data.
But the Big Island, which is outside the code, ended up getting hit really hard by torrential, record-breaking rain that flooded out the Hilo side. And again, the rain
That is one of the reasons you should be prepared for anything that may come your way. The best place for all that strong items in your home is safe. When you go through the wall.
Okay, 9 hours.
Chuck points out that even something that seems light and harmless, like a lawn chair, can be destructive, which is why it's so
Okay.
This is really some of the most vulnerable parts of the house, and those big galaxies are more likely to go through there. And we are sure about what you're covered for, or if you're covered, or if you're covered for insurance company now, that is going to get your questions answered.
Hopefully still have your hurricane kit packed and lane. Double check that you have these things. 14 days worth of clean water, plus a radio, flashlight, the battery, a big kit and your medicine. If you're missing it, don't wait to buy them. Some things fill up and sell fast monthly. Very good. And make sure that you don't give them away. People with sacrifices require security custody.
But in this morning, I feel like it was quite good. We don't have the seven. They're already in 2000. There is some concern.
Sister has me hurt everywhere and
It's all about
Hold on, guys. Got them all. 6
marketing so that our goal is to get it all up to the story.
Now that you've cleared away that red powder, Matthew, this looks like a tacky profession of love. It depicts the victim as an asteroid with the phrase, "I've fallen for you." Putting that red powder under the microscope might tell us who this card was meant for, Matthew.
Not many items were returned. Another thing to keep in mind is that stores have different return policies, especially when it comes to water and to generators. Stores are also suggesting to hang on to your purchases for your hurricane kit because hurricane
Okay.
is monitoring the situation closely.
Okay, now the red powder.
Speak to customer transportation and customers as a day
Okay.
Little League World Series champion in a couple days now.
You got it?
11 o'clock for Penna. We're gonna rock out lots of snacks, free drinks, and if you're one of the lucky ones to get a special photo,
Got it. 9.
there are going to be lane closures in the area for the parade, and it's
Fajita powder.
we will be live chance being honored at the Rachel Park game.
Going to take part in a special halftime performance by the pick out the orders there. So 6 o'clock,
That powder you've collected off the victim's love profession is fajita mix, Matthew. Wait, Doris Black said the victim ordered her fajitas every day. This card was meant for her? Clearly, the victim was more than a casual acquaintance. And as our only suspect who's been on both sides of the dome, we must establish what Miss Black's hiding.
One of 9 kids vying for the $25,000 prize. We tied up with the video for the first level.
Kids Baking Championship airs on Mondays afternoon at there's only 2 more episodes left. Here's what she was.
No doubt.
The culinary school, great.
Yeah.
Good start there.
Baker friends. I don't have baker friends.
That'd be great to have baker friends.
I know, kidding.
It's time he stopped lying about the victim, Miss Black. We know he professed his love for you. Ugh, not that creepy thing. Dr. Vega was infatuated with me. He really did order lunch every day, but he didn't come for the food. The guy wouldn't leave me alone. He'd lurk around waiting for my shift to end, then follow me to my quarters saying my skin smelled nice. If anything, I was hoping the fragrance of my bug spray would put him off. Why didn't you report him to Dreamlight? Me? Get a scientist in trouble? I'd have been fired. That's an awful situation to be in, Miss Black, but I hope you didn't murder Dr. Vega to get him off your back.
And save at Sedgwick's Labor Day sale. We're the only place that can scientifically fit you to the mattress. And right now, save up to $1,000 on top rankings, strings, and Master.
Okay. Excuse me.
Dr. Braden Siemens utilizes the most advanced technology available to perform. Have that smile you've always wanted. Replace missing teeth with titanium or metal-free implants. We provide several options to meet each patient's specific needs. To sell their routine, work is the constant on long term. You work with pride as well as struggle. And now, all of them, the work and the skills we need for work will change work as we know it today forever. Join the next halfway at the Sound Hall for a mind-blowing conversation about the future of work.
Check for $5,000. You found a check in the victim's bag, Matthew. It's for $5,000 from Louis LaRue. That's a hefty sum of money. LaRue clearly had dealings with the victim, though he didn't say anything to us. Matthew, let's ask Louis LaRue what this payment was for.
I've been watching a few systems that we've been tracking over the course of the last several days. We will continue to do so with the islands, really with the HOM. Let's see, can we do the other computer? Okay, there we go. All right.
Okay, let's see what Louis LaRue has to say now.
It looks like we're going to have
excuse me. How's Zoe, Senior Trooper Matthew? I had no idea she'd collapse like that. Zoe's fine, no thanks to you, but you should be more concerned about your own affairs, like why you paid $5,000 to the victim. How do you know about that? You see, I really am chasing a story about dream life. After weeks of digging, I got onto Dr. Vega's trail, one of the only scientists I could speak to outside the dome. After much persuasion, Vega agreed to hand over highly classified information for the right price. Classified? If Dr. Vega divulged anything that might have got him killed, we should know about it. Well, he never gave me anything. Dr. Vega took the money, then changed his mind. I trudged out to that lake in my hiking boots for nothing. You must have been pretty angry losing a big exclusive like that. You're suggesting I killed him? Hardly. I don't take no for an answer. Vega would have talked eventually.
Aloha, it's Bill Maher, and my favorite time of year is coming up, Christmas week in Hawaii. Hawaii can be proud they helped raise our last great president. Not proud this would be my 8th annual New Year's Con extravaganza.
Okay, we got that out of the way, and I will let the victim's phone run its course, and I'll see you guys when that's done. Oh, hello. Let's get back to the case, and we'll get the results of the victim's phone right now.
I suspect the judge would have ruled it as hearsay, even if it were.
Your victim's phone was more secure than Fort Knox, Matthew. Everything on there was heavily encrypted. And while there's nothing about any conflict that might implicate his killer, there's one thing that's disturbing. What's that, Kathy? Well, when I looked through Dr. Vega's contacts, I found Zoe's phone number. What? Dr. Vega had Zoe's number? I hate to disturb Zoe right now, Matthew, but we must ask her about this.
Failure to introduce this letter alone does not rise to the level of lack of effective counsel. Greenhaven corruption, and this story is adjourned.
All of us.
Let's talk to Zoe. Oh, David, it's sweet of you to check on me, but you have an investigation to worry about. Well, honey, that's actually why we're here. For some reason, our victim had your number in his phone. That's because I gave it to him, Matthew. What? You gave him your number? When? This morning. I'm sorry, I should have told you everything before. Like I said, I put on my hiking boots and headed to the dome. Naturally, I wasn't allowed in, so when I saw someone coming out, I talked to them. I was desperate to speak with anyone from inside, to understand why I've been dreaming about the dome. So when Dr. Vega came out, you spoke to him? What did he say? Nothing. He brushed me aside, as if the smell of my butt spray was offensive. But I insisted he take my number to call me if he thought of anything. I'm sorry I kept this from you, but I wanted to see if anything came of this, but it's another dead end. I understand, darling, but you should have been upfront with us. Hiding things only makes it worse than it already is.
without any design associated with easy steering. The control just as
Well, for now, she's in the clear.
under control of atopic dermatitis and dyes. Do not use applicator.
I can't believe Zoe lied, Matthew. I realize she's stressed out. Heck, she even fainted in the forest, but even so. Worse still, now that I think of it, Zoe uses dental floss. I guess you should add that to her profile, Matthew. Oh boy. Now it's possible. Despite being cooped up under glass for a year, Dr. Vega was sure making waves, Matthew. Doris Black, our only suspect from under the dome, felt trapped by the victim's obsessive advances. While Louis LaRue paid Dr. Vega for inside information about Dream Life, but the victim gave him nothing. Then there's Zoe, who actually met the victim this morning, desperately seeking answers about her dreams. Matthew, we have a problem. Dream Life Management has discovered we're investigating that tunnel. They've realized it's a security breach and are about to seal it off. What? But that's a crime scene, Chief. Matthew, we better get there before we're shut out.
Join us for our daily delights menu at Cracker Barrel.
A 14-minute workout on the Bowflex Max Trainer. The Max Trainer is a 14-minute total body workout. Burn more calories and get results like she did.
Okay.
He did. And she did. Act now and save $425 for Labor Day sale. Order now at trymaxnow.com. He's happy. The family's finally eating vegetables, thanks to our bird's eye walleye skin cookies.
And they only take 15 minutes to do it. As Michelle.
Better courtesy dinner. There's one of his found out.
No one when this was good.
So last quarter.
Of course, in town.
It was on I thought it wasn't regarding a cost.
It wasn't. Reagan reached out. He said he was worried that some nut job bared up.
Always hanging in out with SVU. Make sure it stays buried.
Captain Craig and going to Captain Crunchbuck.
Tell me everything I know.
Yeah, it's sort of
Okay, so, what can you tell us about this piece of crap there, Thompson?
He's the lowest I know you're leaving the hospital. I think they're still clear.
Oh, he's got
That's Charlotte.
places with friends in the city. Well, and here we go.
This city. Same crap, different century. What's going on?
The girl is claiming that her mother beat her mother.
There we go.
She had her trouble. She was just trying to protect those kids from the pedophile. She's all broken up about this.
So you spoke to Audrey Thompson?
Yeah. And then she called me and you guys started poking around.
Yeah, but you don't want her
What she went through, she still looks to me when she needs a reality check.
So you stayed in touch after the case?
And before. Broke up domestic disputes, stay more times than I can count. The guy had a history. Escalated from slapping his wife to raping his kid.
Police defense found some letters to you from a teacher saying Audrey made Michelle.
Good thing we searched this tunnel before it's sealed off, Matthew. That hiking boot has blood on it. We know the killer wears hiking boots. This must be theirs. Let's take a sample of that blood for analysis. And we should also piece together that blood-stained rag. It's only a matter of time before our killer's behind bars, Matthew. Let's get to work.
Hey, it was good talking to you. I'd like to stick around, but Eileen is welcoming me into a matinee. Good luck, yeah.
I can answer the bucket this morning.
So, this is while your father was in jail, but before the trial.
Okay.
So, Ted and Audrey had known each other 6 months by the time of the trial.
Yeah, we proved that their relationship was going on.
Yeah, we can prove they were both from the West, the same weekend and then. That weekend, the Fairfield family was sticking up the park like no county detention.
Oh, they couldn't get away on the taxpayer's dime.
We all agree with their help.
I thought we were going to Because guess who was charged with disorderly intoxication that same morning?
Sergeant Thompson. She pleaded down with this time to stay. I guess that's what we'll call it.
So these two were working on it. Well, very toxic to where you trying.
They were really looking for something. But that's gotta be enough for federal age corpus, alright? Maybe a blood stops the charge altogether.
Got it.
Sergeant, I'm a private investigator. A situation has come to my attention that requires a great deal of discretion.
Let's not lose momentum, Matthew, and get this blood you collected off the killer's hiking boot to Amir.
Into the deepest darkness, tunnel through to find the light.
Measuring no ratings. Celebrate Black Girl Royalty.
15 hours.
Black Girls Rock. Hosted by Queen Latifah tomorrow at 8 p.m. Central, only on BET.
Dear great-great-grandfather, you made moonshine in a backwoods still, smuggled booze, and dodged the law. Even when they brought you in, they could never hold you down. The ancestry story.
Now, with over 10 billion historical records, discover your story. Get started for free at Ancestry.com.
Keep those shrimp coming. Endless Shrimp is back at Red Lobster with all the shrimp you want, any way you want it. Try delicious creations like new crunchy fiesta shrimp, tortilla chip crusted, then topped with a creamy blend of 3 cheeses and pickle diet. There's new sesame ginger fruit, grilled and drizzled with savory soy ginger sauce and spring.
Here we go.
Seasoning. And don't forget the favorites you love, like garlic shrimp scampi. But Endless Shrimp won't last endlessly, so hurry in.
Nice job sewing up that blood-stained rag, Matthew. Let's rush it to the lab.
Not a conspiracy. The detective was there on police business.
Well, perhaps, but we believe that police business provided him the cover to spy Amos Jones for a romantic weakness, responded in normal form against the man.
In 9 hours, and I'll look at the results of these two are done. Thank you all for watching. Okay, we have returned, and let's put a killer behind bars here. Let's get the results of the blood first. Amir, what did you make of that blood sample collected from the killer's boot? While the blood obviously belonged to the victim, there was something unusual about it. Mixed in with it were traces of blueberry juice. Blueberry juice? Of course, it does cut off the eyes sometimes, but that's okay. I was confused too. Then I remembered that Grimsboro Forest is full of wild blueberry bushes. The trace of juice in the blood on that boot suggests the killer ran through one of these bushes. Meaning the killer will undoubtedly have blueberry stains on their clothing. Our killer will be singing the blues when we catch them, Matthew. Keep an eye out for a blueberry stain. Okay, of course I am having to frequently pause so this thing can move along, but now the bloody rag here. I'll definitely be moving to another computer, but I'll see if I can. I think I almost have my voice squared away on that one. I do have a headset, but I don't know if you'll be able to hear my voice, but if you don't, sorry about it. Perfect timing, Matthew. The bloodstains on that handkerchief match the victim, meaning That handkerchief belonged to our killer. They must have wiped their hands before dropping it in that tunnel, to their peril, because they left their skin cells behind. There weren't enough cells for a conclusive DNA profile, but there was something interesting. The skin cells possessed trace antibodies of a measles vaccine. However, this particular vaccine was only licensed 40 years ago, meaning if the killer was inoculated, they must be under 40. Their number's up, Matthew. We're looking for a killer who's younger than 40. We've got everything we need to put Dr. Vega's killer away, Matthew. Let's make an arrest. Alright. Now let's see who our killer is. Definitely not Keith Vaughn. It isn't James Savage. He just hit 41. Wait a minute. I think it might be Zoe, but I'm gonna check the others just to be sure. It's definitely not Doris Black. And it's not Louis LaRue. It is Zoe. Boy, this is gonna be a shocker to Jones. Who would have thought? That's 2, 3. That's 4. And it's 5. Sad but true. Zoe Kusama is the killer. I would hate to be Jones right now. Zoe? You murdered Dr. Vega, but... No, Matthew, I won't believe it. David, Matthew is right. I can't lie anymore. You must have found my hiking boot left behind in that tunnel. But... I don't understand. It can't be you. You weren't the only one wearing those boots. What about that handkerchief? My skin cells must have been all over it. Yes, we found skin cells and other clues that point to you, but... And surely you found the rock I used to kill Dr. Vega. Oh gosh. Unbelievable. You're a good cop, Matthew. You know in your heart the evidence points to me. I should have confessed straight away, David, but I was scared. Now I just want it to be over. But why, Zoe? Why would you commit murder? Because I finally remember everything. I know what happened to me when I disappeared, and it was all Dr. Vega's fault. What? How? I really did go to the dome to jog my memory, and while I was taking photos, I saw Dr. Vega come out. I recognized him immediately. The moment I saw Vega's face, the memories came flooding back. Memories of what? I don't understand any of this. Memories of scientific experiments under the dome. Dr. Vega used me as a test subject. A test subject? Dreamlife experimented on you? You're saying they're running human experimentation under the dome? Yes, I remember being strapped down, given injections. And all the while it was Dr. Vega performing these experiments. I can't tell you the suffering I went through, Matthew. Oh, Zoe. I never spoke with Dr. Vega at the security checkpoint. I lied about giving him my number. He must have had it to keep tabs on me all these months. But I did follow him to the lake to confront him about what I remembered. He just laughed, saying nobody would believe a crazy woman who'd lost her memory. That's when I snapped. The rage and frustration of the past year exploded in a single instant. I grabbed that rock and beat him until he was dead. I didn't plan on murdering him, Matthew. You must believe me. But after I panicked, hiding the evidence in that nearby tunnel. Zoe, this is so much to take in. I'm so sorry, but Matthew has no choice but to place you under arrest. Just when I thought they were going to be living happily together. But we did our job, and that's the main thing. Zoe Kusama, you're charged with the murder of Dr. Ernesto Vega. How do you plead? Guilty, Your Honor. I killed that monster. I regret taking a man's life, but I'm not sorry he's dead. You claim the victim conducted experiments on you inside the Dreamlife Dome. These are serious accusations. It's the truth, Your Honor. I know what happened. I remember. I see. Given the circumstances of this case, I'm remanding you in custody pending a thorough psychiatric evaluation. Please forgive me, Matthew. I love you, David. Again, who would have thought? Everyone's devastated by what transpired today, Matthew. I can hardly believe it. Joan's girlfriend murdered Dr. Vega. According to Zoe, Dr. Vega conducted human experiments under the dome, and she was his test subject. But how did she get under the dome in the first place? What were these experiments, and how did Zoe escape? There are so many unanswered questions. If what Zoe says is true, Matthew, we must get to the bottom. If what she says is true, of course it's true, Matthew. Zoe wouldn't lie about something like this. And I, for one, won't sit around and let it happen. Dreamlife will pay for what they did to Zoe. We all feel the same way, Jones, but we must stay calm and... To hell with calm, I'm out of here. Yikes. I can't say I would be reacting any different. And we'll get to Under the Dome 4-6 in just a minute, but taking a look at the other ones. It was unfortunately Zoe Kusama. Doris Black, she was cleared from the start. Matter of fact, I'll see you guys for the next one. Okay, folks, we've returned. Hopefully we can exonerate or at least lessen Zoe's prison term. Let's start the additional investigation. See, we left off with Jones slamming the door. See, we must find out more. I'm also really worried about Jones storming out like that, Matthew. He'll be so confused. Yes. Yes, I've never seen him so furious. You better go after him before he gets too far. Knowing Jones, he's probably headed to the crime scene. Join me at the lakeside when you can, Matthew. Alright, Matthew, you and Gloria can look for Jones at the lakeside once we're done talking to Zoe. So we'll see if Jones and Zoe can still live happily ever after. Kinda doesn't look that way, but we'll see what happens. Okay, let's see what she has to say. We know she's the killer, but let's see if we can get her off. Matthew, what are you doing here? Is David with you? I don't know if I can face him. It's just us, Zoe. How are you feeling? For months I've been desperate to regain my memory, and now that I have, my whole world's turned upside down. I can't believe I killed someone. What have I done? We're not here to judge you, we just want to understand. Tell us about what you remember. As you know, I used to be a social worker. I was investigating the whereabouts of certain missing persons just before I disappeared. I was outside the library one afternoon when suddenly a dark vehicle drove up. I was grabbed, shoved inside, and sedated with chloroform. Was it Dreamlife who kidnapped you? I suppose so, because I awoke under the dome, locked up with the very people I'd been searching for. We were all used for experiments. Dr. Vega took blood samples, poked us with injections. Did anyone else run tests on you besides Dr. Vega? I don't remember. Some of it's still a blur. I'd black out for long periods, losing all sense of time. What happened to the other people? Are they still under the dome? No, they're all dead, just like I would have been had I not run. How did you survive, Zoe? How did you escape? One day I noticed my straps were loose, so I pretended to be sedated until Dr. Vega was out of the room. Then I made my escape. I found the door to that drainage tunnel and used a steel barrel to break those bars. They were pretty old and rusty. So you escaped through the dome through that tunnel. No wonder you knew it was there. Yes, but that's not all. I remember now that when I escaped, I grabbed a box of papers about the experiments but lost them in the tunnel. A box of papers. Zoe escaped months ago, Matthew, but with any luck it'll still be down there. Let's go. Well, let's hope we can get Zoe exonerated or anything good. Oh. Listen, Senior Trooper Matthew, Dream Life has shut this tunnel down. Ain't nobody supposed to go in there. Well, too bad. Our investigation is ongoing and we're tying up loose ends. Alright. What happens in the tunnel stays in the tunnel. Just don't get me in trouble. Of course, for some of you guys, you may be wondering, I do plan to still use this, but I will be playing the other games off camera. If I do collection mode here, I will do it on this computer, but I will also not be using Bandicam for this because I don't really feel like I have to record these cases 3 times in a row. Oh. Wait a minute. It did work. That is a clue, and it's credited me with a miss? I swear, I don't get this game sometimes. Okay. And now the umbrella. Well, 10,000. So it was a dud no matter what. That box you found looks like it's been here for months, and it's got the Dream Life logo on it. Could this be what Zoe took with her when she escaped? Hopefully there's something inside this box that'll shed some light on Dr. Vega's research. Let's crack that lock.
John Moses. Hi, John. Why don't we all head down to your brand new car? Watch your step, gang. John, you head around to the passenger side.
number 2. And the last... Oh, no, that's not it. So we got it open. This box is full of Dreamlife documents, Matthew. This must be what Zoe took when she made her escape. Let's have Amir examine them. Okay, we'll start examining the research papers. And then we'll get to examining the lakeside right now. Of course, I am kind of frequently pausing so this game can kind of move along, because I know this computer is pretty slow. All right. Aha! Got it. Darn it! I don't see Jones anywhere. He was so upset. There's no telling what he might do. Good point, Matthew. Those leaves look like they've been disturbed recently. Searching for them could get us onto Jones's trail. Okay, now the pile of leaves. Okay. Aha! That's Jones's gun, I think. There's a gun buried under those leaves, Matthew, and it belongs to Jones, so he was here. Jones wouldn't leave his firearm lying around. Something must be very wrong. Let's have Rita examine Jones's weapon. Maybe she'll establish what happened here. And I'll see you guys when both of these are done. Okay, we are back, and let's get the results of Jones's gun first. Hopefully we can find it. Hopefully we can do something about Zoe, too.
And the Mariana Islands, winds estimated at 100 miles an hour.
Hold on.
During a Sunday matchup, Randy Higa tells you why starting QB was benched.
Unfortunately, it went on already. I have good news and bad news about Jones's firearm, Matthew. The good news is, this gun wasn't fired. However, after adjusting the gun for fingerprints, I found two distinct sets, Jones and Tony Marconi's. Marconi? Why did he handle this gun? What on earth happened by the lakeside? Lead the way, Matthew. We have to find Marconi fast. Okay. Alright, Marconi, what were you doing with Jones' gun? Where is he? I'm glad you're here, Senior Trooper Matthew. Have I got a story for you? Jones phoned me, demanding we meet at the lake. He was in such a state, I knew better than to refuse. And you know what? He wanted me to bust his girlfriend out of lockup. Can you imagine? Jones asking me to orchestrate a jailbreak. Jones wanted to stage a jailbreak? That's absurd. That's what I said. It's not like I couldn't do it, but I didn't want him to do something he'd regret. Anyway, Jones got mad and drew his gun, so I tackled him. While we were struggling on the ground, his gun went flying. And Jones just left it behind? I told you he wasn't himself. When I realized he wouldn't cooperate, he ran towards the dome security checkpoint, crying revenge. Did you hear that, Matthew? Jones headed to the security checkpoint. We better hurry. You gotta find him, Senior Trooper Matthew, for his own good. And here, have something to eat. You're looking pale.
At Sheraton Princess Kailulani, as well as the Sheraton Maui, could be effective if workers any moment.
The family tonight, Maria Gonzalez disappeared after visiting her boyfriend at an AL Parkside home in Maui in January 2014. Her daughter, Alexis Felicita, wrote an open letter to Maui police yesterday pleading for answers. Saturday would have been signs were out there.
Transportation says tropical cyclone lane damage cannot use the detour. Until 7, project to fix up streets in the area for cars and pedestrians.
People want to know, are we going to start to see the effects of it Tuesday?
Yeah, we'll see the green effects on Tuesday, but we'll start to see the first effects of it starting tomorrow.
Well, let's see.
As I mentioned, we'll be here the day after that. I'll show you what will be happening with our surf. It's already starting to build on the waves and the weather for on Monday in just a moment. Right now, the Susan for sharing this peaceful shot. Oh my
is sponsored by Aloha Pacific.
Searching for Whitehorn Equity Money.
Got the clue. And that's it.
Fact is, there are over 9,600 roads named Park in the U.S. It's America's most popular street name. No matter what part of your
Good thinking, Matthew. If Jones tried to storm into the dome, maybe there's a record of it in that security log. Let's check it out.
Of course, Gorilla has a fix for every project. Original brush and nozzle and ultra control gel for the toughest jobs.
I hope we can get Jones to come to his senses. Even Marconi's worried about him. Oh man.
Start your day right with Good Morning Hawaii.
Got it.
7 days a week.
Unlike Hurricane Lane, Hurricane Olivia, wasting no time in getting to our islands, continuing to move quickly to the west at about 12 miles an hour. And right now, still, category...
Matthew, look at that! Matthew, look at this logbook entry. Hawkeye Security's taken Jones into custody. It says, David Jones, an officer for the Grimsboro PD, was taken into custody for trespassing on Dreamlife property. What have you done, Jones? At least we know that he's safe, Matthew. I'll phone Marconi that his guys have Jones, and we'll go bail him out.
For those eastern sides of the islands. Again, most of the island chain under the forecast cone, and so tropical storm watch up. As we take a look at what we could expect from this system, they're hit hard from other storms. There is just to the east.
All right, let's bail Jones out. Who can blame him? The guy has lost his girlfriend because she committed murder. Matthew, you came for me. I don't even know what to say. You could start by apologizing for making us worry. You pulled a gun on Marconi and tried to break into the dome? This isn't you, Jones. We understand it's a lot to deal with, learning what Zoe's been through, then finding out she committed murder. But you can't lose yourself now. You must stay strong, if not for yourself, then for her. My poor Zoe, I failed her completely. I thought I was being a good boyfriend, helping her regain her memories, but she'd have been better off never remembering at all. The things she went through under that dome, I won't rest until Dreamlife is taken down. And neither will we. We're on your side, but we must work together. You won't accomplish anything charging in there on your own. Yes, I know I acted like a complete fool. It's just Zoe and everything. All I had in my head was white noise and rage. I'm sorry. All's forgiven, but no more asking Marconi to break Zoe out of jail. Of course, Matthew, that was a stupid idea. What kind of life would she have as a fugitive? Thank you for being there for me, Matthew, and for bailing me out. I'll pay any fines I have to.
Watch the Surf Channel and SC16 for the best in entertainment and information.
Are Mom and Dad here yet?
Let's see if we can help Zoe out now.
We got stuff for cash.
Forgot your bank of lucky debit card?
Okay, now the research papers. Tell us, Amir, have you found anything useful in those papers Zoe stole from under the dome? Well, they are indeed Dr. Vega's research notes, and despite being months old, they're loaded with valuable information. For starters, they confirm what we already know of Brazellum, that the extraterrestrial element can enhance or suppress processes in living organisms. However, after digging deeper into Dr. Vega's notes, I discovered he was using Brazilium to synthesize a drug or serum of some kind, called protozane. A drug? Do the papers explain what it's used for? Unfortunately not. However, Dr. Vega was clearly working under direct orders from Dreamlife, so they are behind this research. What about evidence of human experimentation? Is there anything supporting Zoe's claims? No. We all believe Zoe, but there's nothing that corroborates her story. Darn it, Matthew! I'd hoped we'd find concrete evidence to present to Judge Powell to shut down Dreamlife for good. Nevertheless, Zoe's testimony on this drug research could be enough. Let's schedule a hearing with Judge Powell. Hopefully it works.
And an electric performance today by another former member of the Buffalo Blue. Good evening, I'm Randy Higa. DeForest Buckner, first round draft pick out of 4.
Okay, let's petition judge something. And hopefully it's enough. Chief Parker, Senior Trooper Matthew, I reviewed the material about Dreamlife's drug program, as well as claims they're conducting human experimentation, of which Miss Kusama was a subject. Yes, we're seeking a warrant to shut Dreamlife down immediately. I'm faced with a moral quandary. I sympathize with Miss Kusama, and I'm inclined to believe her testimony. However, I see no proof of anything besides the development of a drug, which isn't illegal. But, Your Honor... I'm sorry, Senior Trooper Matthew, but based on this evidence, I have no authority to shut Dreamlife down. All you have is the testimony of a convicted murderer whose memory is sketchy at best. With no corroborating evidence, my hands are tied. If corroborating evidence is what you need, Your Honor, then that's what we'll get. Let's go, Senior Trooper Matthew. Is it true, Matthew? Despite what we've discovered, Judge Powell won't grant us a warrant to shut down Dreamlife? Unfortunately, the judge is right. Her hands are tied. We only have proof that Dreamlife is developing drugs, but nothing regarding human experimentation other than Zoe's word. The poor thing. We won't rest until we found enough evidence to stop them. Exactly. And Zoe's already helped a great deal in that direction. Whereas I've been nothing but useless, Matthew. I apologize for storming out like I did, Chief. There's no excuse. You'd be right to reprimand me. We all understand what you're going through. Just don't let it happen again. Zoe's been asking after you. If you're ready to see her, I think it would do you both a world of good. Yes, I think I'm ready to face Zoe now. Matthew, would you mind coming with me? Sure, why not?
Just because you missed a ball, that doesn't mean I'm not going to set you again.
Well, unfortunately, it didn't work with Judge Powell. Zoe, I just came to tell you. Oh, David, you must think I'm a monster. I'm so sorry for what I've done, for the pain I'm causing you. There's nothing to be sorry for. I don't blame you for anything. None of what you went through is your fault. We know who the real monsters are. Apparently, they might have been experimenting on you to develop a drug called Protozane. I hate to ask if you remember anything about that, but... Protozane? I've never heard of that, David. But I do remember the room where I was experimented on. The one inside the dome. It's Lab 88B. Zoe, I promise we'll search that room top to bottom and find proof of what Dreamlife did to you and the others. We'll bring them to justice. I guess you'll be leaving now. Then this is goodbye, David. I'm sorry, Matthew, for everything. Of course this isn't goodbye. I'll visit you every day. I love you, Zoe. I love you too, David, and you and Matthew should have this to remember me by. Oh my god, Forrest hair? No way. A little bit like Kevin Sorbo hair, if you ask me. I mean it when I said I'll visit Zoe every day, Matthew. I won't abandon her. Your support will mean the world to Zoe. You're a good man, Jones. Maybe, But there are some very bad people under that dome, working for Dream Life. I know the judge said we can't shut Dream Life down, but surely now we know what the room where Zoe was experimented on. We can get a warrant to investigate. Yes, I've obtained a warrant granting restricted access to search Lab 88B. If Dream Life's been conducting experiments on humans to develop Protozane, we're sure to find proof in that lab. Then what are we waiting for, Matthew? Let's go find that lab.
Who says she is systematically bullied, silenced, and marginalized by leadership, including Carlson.
That's gonna do for this case.
The accusation round, staying focused. The winner with a new title and $50,000 scholarship. Candace Gibson, ABC News, New York.
I presented Hawaii in the Miss America pageant tonight. The Honolulu Pele and the Show Me Your Shoes competition. Oh, those are some shoes.
Wow, like it out.
Okay, starting tomorrow, ABC has a new midday lineup. Change your weather.
At its time, 12 noon, the midday newscast in the hour.
How's those shoes?
Okay, I'm gonna get 3 sticker packs here. This is the type. Okay, now I did. And we'll move on to the next case, though I have a feeling it's going to be released on Thursday.
He actually had all the time in the world to campaign or even file such a good time. Now, well, not necessarily.
September 13th? Yes, it is a Thursday. Now I know I do have another case in Elite mode to worry about, but I'm going to worry about that a little later.
Anti-Spaghetti was paid more than their stocks were worth. My grandpa ordered it. And since that argument about financing had never really to be found, they always argue about business. One of my great striving memories. Grandpa and Mrs. Dawes arguing about business. Mrs. Dawes, we still haven't found the necessary to represent the Cato. Why are you doing this? Because I'm innocent.
4 new ones.
As a white male guy, have a leg to stand. I'm also
I'm going to cut all this out and just show you the stickers I got. Hold on. 3 new ones. 4 new ones.
This flu season, protect yourself.
3 new ones. That'll do, so hold on everybody. Okay, that'll do. And I'll be seeing you guys on September 13th. Hopefully we can help Zoe then. See y'all soon.